this moment of transformation. Because artificial intelligence is not just a distant promise anymore. It is not a theoretical possibility, but as a reality that is unfolding right now in real time across industries, societies, and our everyday choices and lives. And where we stand today, the path to AGI, the impact on work, science, and society, opportunities and risks are all very evident. Hence, we also need a vision for human-machine collaboration. And it gives me great honor and pleasure to introduce our key speakers who will help us navigate this new technology and make sense of what we are seeing unfolding in our lives today. Let me also call upon Dipesh Kumar Jain, scientist at IITM Pune, to facilitate our guests and speakers before I introduce them. We have with us Dipesh Kumar Rai, Head Strategic Business, HPC and AI at NVIDIA. Professor Rajiv Ahuja, Director. Gopal Krishna Bhatt, Director, Data Center. And Pratyush Kumar, co-founder at Sarvam AI. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time today on a Monday morning. I'm sure all of you are very busy professors in this field. We have a room full of children very interested in the future of this fast-paced technology. So may I now call upon Professor Rajiv Ahuja, Director, IIT Roopur, to deliver the keynote, a quick introduction. He is a globally renowned computational materials scientist, and Professor Rajiv also serves as Director of IIT Roopur, as we know, since April 2021. He's got about 30 plus years at Uppsala University at Sweden. And he has published 1,000 plus papers and specializes in batteries, hydrogen storage sensors, and high pressure physics. He holds a PhD from IIT Roorkee and is a globally recognized professor for his research excellence and academic leadership. Professor, over to you.
So good morning. So can you hear me? So how many of you have been in IIT? You are coming from Panchkula or Chandigarh. Have you been to IIT Roper? Have you know about IIT Roper? Do you know about IIT Roper? यहाँ से ज़्यादा दूर नहीं है, केवल 1 घंटा लगता है IIT Roper जाने के लिए। तो सबसे पहले तो मैं आप सब लोगों का धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा, स्पेशली बच्चों का, कि you came early in the morning and you are standing and you are sitting now here. Actually, when we talk about science or technology, I want to talk to only young people. I know that there was one incident. We have opened one center of excellence in clean energy in Chennai. And our president at that time, Abdul Kalam, came at that time. And he said that what I am going to talk today, it has no meaning the people sitting in first row. I am talking those students who are standing behind, who didn't get even place to sit. I am talking to them. So that's why I told just now organizer to bring this student in front So we can talk to them because you are our future. And we say that AI is our future and AI plus you are our future. So आपके ऊपर ही our future depend on India. जब हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर विकसित भारत की बात करते हैं 20, but you will be there. तो आपको डिसाइड करना है कि कंट्री को कहां लेके जाना है. एंड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट टेक्नोलॉजी, आजकल हम डिफरेंट टेक्नोलॉजी की आप बात सुन रहे होंगे. पीपल आर टॉकिंग अबाउट क्वांटम टेक्नोलॉजी और एआई और एजीआई. So you have heard about all these things. And you are very fortunate generation that you born with this one. Because in our time, even there was no mobile phone. So we cannot think about AI or computer at that time. So what I want to tell you, because I didn't make any PowerPoint slides, because I know when we teach in the class in IITs also, if we show too many PowerPoint slides, they cannot focus actually. And sometimes they don't come in the class. They say that whatever you ever make a PPT slides or presentation give to us, we don't need to come to the class. So we can study in our room. So that's why we have not prepared, I have not prepared any PowerPoint slide, because we want to keep you engaged. Otherwise, if I show you some PPT slides, you will see just only slide, you will not listen to me. So that's the idea. And how many of you want to go in IIT system or in science or technology? How many of you want to do that? Can you raise your hand? So you don't want to, the people sitting in front, you don't want to go to any science and technology, but you are interested in AI. Is it right? Or you want to go for AI? So IIT Ropar is one of the youngest IIT I want to tell you about. And we have a BTech program in AI and data engineering, which is dedicated program for AI. Then we have a AI, BTech program in computer science. That's a separate program for 4-year BTech program. And we need people like you there. Do you understand what means AGI? You know artificial intelligence. And what is AGI? Why we put G in between A and I? Do you know about that? So you have to tell me, you have to speak to me. Can you say what is G means actually? Okay. So you don't want to speak with me actually, it seems that. So I have to tell you that when we talk about AGI, then we are talking the AI which can surpass the human intelligence. So we want to go in that level of AI. And when we talk about AI, we should also remember, do you know anything about Nobel Prize? Which year Nobel Prize is given for AI? So AI got Nobel Prize in 2024 actually, it's very recent. And there was 2 scientists who got this Nobel Prize together. One was from the Princeton and one was from the University of Toronto. It's the Hoffield and Hilton. So they got together this Nobel Prize. And this Nobel Prize, I can read the citation. For foundational discovery and invention that enable machine learning with the artificial neural network. So maybe you know artificial neural network also. So if you look at the Nobel Prize is given for the basic sciences. But AI is not a basic sciences. So but the foundation of the AI or artificial neural network is a physics. Basically in AI we are using a statistical model. So basically we are using a statistical physics there. So if you want to develop any AI model, you should know the good knowledge of at least physics or statistical physics. That is very important. And we always talk about that if AI can replace human, AI will never replace human. AI will replace those human who will not use AI. So AI is going to be there and humans are going to be there, and humans are going to control AI. So this is, you should remember also that you will be always the master. AI will be like your servant. You will be the master of when even you use AI. So we have a different mission in India also. So we have AI mission of India also, which was launched in March 2024, basically. And there we have talked, we want to have a UI AI mission. It means we want to teach AI to every one of you. For example, also even IITs also taking such a course. We call AI for Bharat or AI for all. So anybody who is 10 plus past actually, they can take these courses. And IIT Ropar can give them a minor in AI course, a certificate, or they can transfer this credit. If you are coming from the universities, you can transfer in your credit bank actually. So what are the key when we talking about India's AI mission? क्योंकि हमको AI के लिए हमको एक पावरफुल कंप्यूटर्स चाहिए, तो हमको एक कंप्यूटर मिशन शुरू करना पड़ेगा, which has we have to generate or we have to create a big computational facilities, computer center, high performance computing in India. क्योंकि हमको जब बड़े बड़े AI मॉडल हम उसको रन करेंगे तो हमको एक हाई पावरफुल कंप्यूटर्स चाहिए. Do we are making those computers in India? Or do we are making those chips in India? There again, Indian government has started a semiconductor mission where we want to make those chips in India. Because अभी क्या होता है कि जो हम चिप बना रहे हैं वो सब बाहर से आते हैं. And how we can use AI in semiconductor industry? How we can use AI in manufacturing all those chips? That is very important. So we have to generate skilled manpower who can work in the semiconductor industry. अभी तो आपने केवल क्लासिकल कंप्यूटर जो हम यूज करते हैं आपने सुना होगा, बट नाउ पीपल आर टॉकिंग अबाउट क्वांटम कंप्यूटर. So what is quantum computers? So we are going beyond the classical computer, we are going for a quantum computer. The need of computation, what we have now, we can not fulfill. Maybe traditional computers, we have to go for a quantum computer. That's another mission of the government of India, which we'll call quantum mission. So think about that. That's also another future technology which is going to play key and important role in coming 30 to 40 years. And within AI mission, by 2035, we want to be the leader in the world actually. So if you look right now, who has the best AI ecosystem in the world is US. And we are maybe in top 4, but we have to be develop AI ecosystem in India so we can be number 1 when it's people talk about the AI. So AI, when in the AI mission, we have many pillars. Basically, one is the computational infrastructure. Then we have a talent and the skilling. That is very important. So we are planning, the government is planning at least 10 million young people to train them in AI. And so we have to develop that manpower which can lead this country when it's come to the AI. And you should know that India is the biggest power when it's come to the manpower or skilled manpower, or the educational sector. We are one of the number 1 country. So we can deploy, we can create those kind of manpower in India, and future is in your hand. So you are our future skilled manpower. So you have to think in that direction also. And then we want to develop
AI models. What AI model we are using right now, maybe they are not made in India. So we have to develop indigenous AI models, which we are going to use in India. So Indian AI for Indian indigenous AI models. So we have to develop those AI models here. And then we have to talk about ethical AIs. So since AI is coming, there are a lot of ethical issues also. So we want to work for a responsible AI. Because nowadays you trust a lot of on the net, whatever the information is coming. So we have to make a socially responsible AI. And so that's what one of the area where we have to think about, which should be safe and responsible. And then ministry wants or government wants the sectorial application, like we want to use AI in healthcare, we want to use AI for education, we are using AI for smart cities, and we are using AI for agriculture. So Ministry of Education has launched these 4 programs, and they have distributed already 3 sectorial AI Center of Excellence in India, and which with the grant of 330 crore each. So these 3, one in agriculture, one in smart cities, and one in digital health. Digital health has given to the AIMS Delhi, and smart city is given to IIT Kanpur. And when it's come to agri-tech, AI for agri-tech is given to the IIT Ropar. So being in a Punjab, how we can use AI in agriculture sector, that is very important. Because you as a kid, you need food. सबसे पहले हमको देश में जो फूड सिक्योरिटी है उसको इंश्योर करना है. How we can use AI in agriculture sector? How my AI can help the farmer? That is very important. तो उसके लिए काम करना है. हम उसमें वहां पे AI कैसे यूज कर सकते हैं, कैसे हम फार्मर को वेदर के बारे में बता सकते हैं. हाउ वी कैन क्रिएट AI मॉडल which can predict the weather in so advanced, so I can tell my farmer. मैं अपना AI मॉडल यूज करके मैं कैसे उसको सोयल टेस्टिंग के बारे में बता सकता हूं, कैसे मैं उसको वो प्रोडक्टिविटी जो अपनी फसल की कैसे ज्यादा उगाए. हाउ आई कैन यूज AI in agri to for my farmers, how they can use the AI, that is very important. तो हमारा अगर आप इंडिया को देखो तो 70% पॉपुलेशन lives in the countryside, जो गांव में रहता है. How we can use AI for them? So that is very important, because food is very important, our farmers are very important. So how we can increase the productivity? जैसे जैसे लैंड कम हो रहा है तो कौन सी हमको टेक्नोलॉजी हमको यूज करनी है जिससे हमारे जो प्रोडक्टिविटी है हमारे किसानों की और जो हमारी फसलों की जो प्रोडक्टिविटी है वो कैसे बढ़ सकती है. तो इसके ऊपर विचार करना है. इसको हम कैसे यूज करेंगे, दैट इज द फ्यूचर. एंड नाउ देयर आर बिग कंपनीज, बिग even multinational companies, they are coming in the food security. You can talk about Google, you can talk about IBM, there are all companies, they are coming in AI for agriculture. So keeping that in mind, so we have set up Center for Excellence in AI at IIT Ropar, which called annam.ai. You can find on the website. And from this year, we have started a BTech program which is called Digital Agriculture. So we have a BTech program at IIT Ropar running from this July on AI for digital agriculture basically. So this is a BTech program in digital agriculture which is mainly going to use AI. So how we can use digital agriculture sitting in our computer? How we can increase the productivity? So this is one of the future of India where we are going to work actually. And then we are talking about the startup ecosystem. We are talking the startups. For example, we want to have a startup when we're talking about AI for our Yuva AI mission. So we want to encourage the startup in AI, and we want to provide the vital capital for this AI. Because if you want to have a startup in AI, how we can support you financially, we have to ensure that, because this is a very high risk, high gain startups. So we need a big capital investment on this sector. And when we talk about startup ecosystem, and for example, if we talk about agriculture sector, because we coming from Punjab, IIT Ropar in Punjab, so we are talking about agriculture startup. And I would like to tell you that if you look at the startup in the area of agri-tech, 30% deep tech startup of India is from IIT Ropar. So we are creating the startup ecosystem in IIT Ropar and in overall in Punjab. So how we can attract youth coming not only from IIT, from the schools, they can come and they can incubate their startup in IIT Ropar. So this is a area where we need young mind. And if you have known about Nobel Prize, and if you want to know more about Nobel Prize, you can go in their website, and it's written that Nobel Prize encourage research driven by curiosity. When are you more curious? When you are a student, when you are a kid, when you are in the school. So we have to bring this startup culture from the school actually. We have to make you a curious, and we have to make India as a research-based country, and we have to focus on the basic science. So basic science is a mother of innovation, and basic science is the mother of the research when we are talking about applied research or translational research. तो हमको इस तरह का एजुकेशन सिस्टम डेवलप करना है जिसमें हम एक स्टार्टअप कल्चर और इनोवेशन कल्चर इंडिया में ला सकते हैं. एंड अब अगर आप जानते हो कि जो इनोवेशन इंडेक्स की बात करते हैं तो इंडिया का जो इनोवेशन इंडेक्स में इट्स रैंक 39th पोजीशन. हाउ वी कैन bring India, how we can make top 25 innovative country in this world. So AI is going to play, and startup system is going to play very important role if we want to make India is an innovative country and we want to see India in the top 5 country in the world. So we have to work together. We have to work in, for example, digital health also. How I can use AI in digital health, how my AI can reach to the villages so they don't have to come to the hospitals, how we can help, how they can get treatment while sitting at home. Then again, we need a data for developing a good AI models. And India is sitting on the gold mine of the data. In the world, who has the data? India has the data. India has a young manpower. India has an intellectual manpower. So nobody can stop us to become. So we can make a good AI model based on the data which we are getting from the hospitals. We can have a preventive health care actually. We can predict the diseases in advance. We can take care of in advance. We can do gene editing. So there are a lot of areas where AI can be applied and AI can be used actually. So you have to decide which area you want, and AI will be everywhere. So as I told you that AI is a future and AI is going to be there for next 30 to 40 years. So at least when we have India as a Viksit Bharat, India should be also leader in AI. But we are hoping that by 2035, we will be the leader in AI. And to develop the AI ecosystem, we need a support not only from the government organizations, but we need a support from a lot of educational institutions. And this educational institution, maybe IITs or NITs or universities, they have to work with the school system. So we have to create good infrastructure in the school. And one of the good initiatives is we are developing the tinkering labs in the schools or in the IITs also. We have those kind of lab where students can do their practices in those kind of lab and innovations lab. So what I want to conclude actually, I will not take much of your time. And we want to make India a intellectual manpower based country, and we want to make India in the leader in the semiconductor industry. As I told you, AI is going to help us to make India in semiconductor industry also number one. And I want to tell you that which country will control the world, the country which will control the semiconductor market. Because we need big chips. If we want to run our AI models, we need a good powerful computers. For computers, we have to develop our semiconductor or our own chips. And if we cannot develop our own chip, if we rely on other countries, we cannot be a superpower when it's come to AI or semiconductors or quantum technology. So we have to develop infrastructure, and I also want the people should come. When they want to do startup, they should do the startup, deep tech startup, not just startup developing simple apps, but think about really deep tech startup. That will lead to India to make a manufacturing hub. And we want to make India as a manufacturing hub, and government is very critical about that. And we have set up many semiconductor fabrication as well as a packaging plant in India. So soon we will be Atmanirbhar also in the area of the semiconductor, and which will drive more fastly the AI ecosystem in India. So with that, I will stop here. So thank you all of you listening to me and thinking about country India. You have to take ownership of this country. So we have to think about India. You have to live about India, and you have to think always how you can take India on that level. And without your contribution, especially your student contribution, we cannot make India as a Viksit Bharat. With that, I stop here. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you very much, Professor, for those very encouraging and inspiring words. As Professor, of course, said, India is indeed positioned to be a potential leader in AI adoption and deployment, given our data-rich economy. And of course, he also simplified what AI and AGI means and highlighted some of the schemes that are available there for AI adoption for students, startups, and of course, what they're doing in the deep tech space at IIT Roper. So thank you so much for that, Professor. Calling upon stage now, Gopal Krishna Bhatt, Director Data Center Customer Engineering at Intel. He has extensive experience in software development and validation across data center, automotive, mobile, and consumer electronics domains. His expertise includes data center technologies, Android system integration, Linux, multimedia, CI tools, and of course, tech leadership. Mr. Gopal Krishna Bhatt, over to you.
Can the slides be placed? Good morning, बच्चों. Very good. Nice to hear that. Maybe जो backbencher है थोड़े आगे आ जाइए, please. Thank you, thank you. ओके नमस्कार, गुड मॉर्निंग. मैं हिंदी में प्रयास करूंगा बात करने का जितना हो सके. सो ये पार्डन मी इन केस मैंने थोड़ी गलती की हिंदी में. ठीक. सो थैंक यू वंस मोर. मेरा शीर्षक आई हैव गिवन दिस Xeon फॉर जेन एआई. Xeon इंटेल का प्रोसेसर का नाम है, एंड व्हाट आई हैव मेंशन्ड हियर इज जेन एआई. सो आई वांट टू नो फ्रॉम ईच वन ऑफ, आई मीन अ लॉट ऑफ यू, कोई यहां पे एआई नहीं जानता या सब जानते हैं एआई? सबको एआई पता है, सबको एआई पता है. सो इनफैक्ट जेन एआई, जैसे जेन जी बोलते हैं ना, जेन अल्फा, मैंने वही सोचा. इनफैक्ट दिस वाज जनरेटिव एआई, देन आई थॉट लुकिंग एट द स्टूडेंट्स इट इज मोर अप्रोप्रिएट. दिस इज द जनरेशन एआई. एवरीबडी नोज एआई हियर. सो एट द आउटसेट I would like to thank, by the way, IISF and IITM specifically for having invited me for this keynote talk. So the plan I had captured was to go through a few topics today, but looking at the enthusiastic and youngsters, the audience, maybe I'll modify a little bit. There are three major sections or four. One, I just wanted to talk कि हम कौन से जनरेशन में हैं. अभी हम AI की बात कर रहे थे. AI has gone through a lot of evolution. बहुत सारे changes हुए हैं. तो अभी हम next 4-5 साल में क्या देखेंगे AI में? Then I wanted to talk about our Intel processor. What is it doing in the AI space? और बाद में डेटा सेंटर बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स, जैसे सर जी ने बताया, राजीव सर, प्रोफेसर राजीव सर ने, कि डेटा सेंटर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, हमारे जो चिप्स और डेटा सेंटर जो इंपॉर्टेंट है वो इंडिया में क्या हो रहा है और हमारे कंपनी की तरफ से हम क्या कर रहे हैं उसके बारे में विल टॉक अबाउट इट एंड देन सम समरी. सो विद दैट लेट मी गेट स्टार्टेड. जस्ट इनिशियल थोड़े बेसिक्स बताने के लिए. अगेन ये बेसिक्स बहुत सारे आप कंप्यूटर साइंस क्लासेस में भी पढ़ेंगे, लेकिन मुझे लगा कि पहले वाला स्लाइड ये आपको जस्ट बेसलाइन आपको बताने के लिए कि एआई में दो इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट है. जैसे बताते हैं ट्रेनिंग और इन्फ्रेंस. ट्रेनिंग जैसे आप कोई भी आप ट्रेनिंग लेते हो ना, दिस इज मोर ऑफ गेटिंग योर एल्गोरिथम्स रेडी. आपके रेडी होने के लिए डेटा देख के आप ट्रेनिंग रेडी होता है. उसके बाद you will do inference, which is application it, applying that part. So I just thought of giving an initial concept, training and inference. These are the two major sections. And if you look at हम अभी कौन से era में हैं, जैसे AI कोई नई चीज नहीं है. If you look at your computer science books या आप पढ़ोगे, AI has been there for decades. It's not like it has just exploded because of बड़े-बड़े computers है अपने पास and it is exploding. But AI has been like for multiple decades. Earlier उसको machine learning बोलते थे. Now you have deep learning, and now there is this Gen AI, which is what a lot of you guys will be using. So with that, maybe this one I wanted to capture about the कितना सारा पैसा इस AI में जा रहा है building करने की, मतलब build करने के लिए. But maybe I'll not spend a lot of time. It is just to give a way forward कि next 4-5 साल में at least some of the market research बता रहा है कि lot of money will be spent more on the inference side. जो इतने सारे ट्रेनिंग कंप्यूटर्स बड़े-बड़े बनाए गए हुए उसको कैसे अप्लाई होगा. And this is just some of the market research talking about how it will be an inference era going ahead. Let's see whether it will be right next 4-5 साल में, लेकिन this is one of the market research which talks about it. तो होपफुली सब लोग अभी भी ध्यान दे रहे हो. हम इन्फ्रेंस एरा में हैं, हम एआई ट्रेनिंग और इन्फ्रेंस के बारे में बात कर रहे थे. तो आई विल कम टू अ इंपॉर्टेंट पीस ऑफ व्हाट इंटेल इज डूइंग. यहाँ पे सारे जो बच्चे होपफुली सब ने कंप्यूटर यूज किया है, तो सारे कंप्यूटर्स में आप मोस्टली देखोगे, मतलब हमारे जमाने से अभी भी देखोगे, मोस्टली इंटेल के प्रोसेसर्स रहेंगे आपके लैपटॉप, डेस्कटॉप्स और जो सर्वर्स में है. अभी आजकल के जो सर्वर्स, हम सर्वर्स में जब बात कर रहे हैं तो Xeon प्रोसेसर के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. तो इंटेल्स के जो Xeon प्रोसेसर है वो वाले डेटा सेंटर में जाते हैं जहां पे आप अपने इंस्टाग्राम रील देख रहे होंगे या आपके स्ट्रीमिंग सर्विस देख रहे होंगे, जहां पे भी होता है डेटा सेंटर में मोस्टली द प्रोसेसर जो यूज हो रहा है विच इज एन इंटेल Xeon प्रोसेसर. आई मीन दैट इज still there will be some friends who would dispute there could be something which are upcoming now, but a lot of processing happening on a Xeon right now. So this was just to give a view कि अगर आप AI यूज कर रहे हो, स्टैंड अलोन यूज कर रहे हो सिर्फ अपने आप कंप्यूटर में, तो AI इंटेल Xeon प्रोसेसर इज इनफ. या आप अपने NVIDIA GPU या कोई भी आप यूज कर रहे हो तो उसके लिए CPU चाहिए, तो उस CPU के लिए Intel भी अभी भी you have a lot of sticking points, you have a lot of aspects which support as a host deployment. तो ये दो मेन चीजें आप जब AI के बारे में आप प्रोसेसर के बारे में सोचोगे. इसके बारे में मैं ज्यादा नहीं जाऊंगा. बेसिकली इट वांट्स टू टॉक अबाउट जब आप डेटा भेजते हो, डेटा इज नॉट जस्ट AI, यू हैव लॉट ऑफ general processing AI, general processing instructions, and then you will also have some AI के बारे में आप जाते हो. As an example, maybe the next one would be better, right? बहुत सारे लोग यहाँ पे जूम वूम यूज करते होंगे, जूम जब वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग होता है, जूम या माइक्रोसॉफ्ट टीम्स बोलते हैं। तो आप जब देखोगे, उसको स्प्लिट करोगे डेटा को, ये बहुत सिंपलिस्टिक व्यू है, उसमें आप देखोगे तो 6 चीजें हैं। 6 चीजों में आप कुछ डेटा डाउनलोड कर रहे हो, ऑडियो वीडियो, उसके बाद आप कुछ चैट कर रहे हो और वीडियो शेयर कर रहे हो, स्लाइड शेयर कर रहे हो। उसके बाद फाइनली आजकल आप देखोगे देर इज ए समराइजेशन, इट विल गिव ए समरी ऑफ what this meeting was about, and it will also give a transcription जो लिख के बताते हैं बाद में। So those two are a lot of AI intensive ones. The others आप जनरल आपके कंप्यूटर जो है उसको भी यूज कर सकते हो, उसके इंस्ट्रक्शंस को यूज कर सकते हो। So the whole point is your existing computers जिसमें Xeon के capabilities है, you can use it. And there are these other models I don't want to get into in terms of the bigger models and what AI does in this space. And these are the next generation of AIs where मैं Xeon की बात कर रहा था, इन जनरेशन और जनरेशन Xeon के प्रोसेसर्स जहां पे it is advancing basically in terms of just the Xeon capability. I will not bore with this slide, but maybe I'll go to an interesting one जहां पे प्रोफेसर राजीव सर ने बताया था। आप यहाँ पे लेफ्ट साइड में देखोगे, ये पिक्चर दिख रहा है यहाँ पे, दिस इज लाइक वन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ ए डेटा सेंटर। डेटा सेंटर मतलब जहां पे आजकल हम बता रहे हैं कि हाईवे बना रहे हो, पोर्ट बना रहे हो, जहां पे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर चाहिए, आपके एआई के लिए ये इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है। मतलब आप आजकल के लिए बड़ा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर जैसे बताते हैं, ये डेटा सेंटर होता है। और डेटा सेंटर में आप जो देख रहे हो ये सारे रैक्स है जहां पे पाइप लगे हुए हैं, एंड दीज पाइप्स एक कंप्यूटर से दूसरे कंप्यूटर को डेटा भेज रहा है। और वैसे ही क्योंकि इतने सारे वहां पे पावर रिक्वायर ये रहता है, वहां पे कूलिंग भी चाहिए होता है। तो ये बेसिकली इनफैक्ट अरोरा करके है, दिस वाज लाइक कपल ऑफ इयर्स बैक वी हैड इंटेल डिप्लॉइंग इट इन वन ऑफ द लार्जेस्ट सुपर कंप्यूटर्स कॉल्ड अरोरा। इसमें 10,000 सीपीयूज है, 10,000, और 60,000 जीपीयूज है। मतलब उतना उसका स्केल है, इतने बड़े सुपर कंप्यूटर्स चाहिए। और इंपॉर्टेंट है कि ऐसे डेटा, ऐसे सुपर कंप्यूटर्स इंडिया में जब बिल्ड होंगे तभी विकसित होगा इंडिया। सो दिस इज लाइक एन एग्जांपल। और उसमें क्या क्या लेयर्स है मैंने बताया हुआ है। आपको कंप्यूटेशन चाहिए, आपको सॉफ्टवेयर चाहिए, आपको इस पूरे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को मैनेज करने के लिए कोई लेयर्स चाहिए, और बाद में कस्टमर के साथ डिप्लॉय करने के लिए एक सर्विस ये भी चाहिए। यू रिक्वायर ए कस्टमर इंजीनियरिंग टीम, which is where I belong, by the way. I am part of that engineering team at the end. And these are just things of how the evolution of servers are happening. Left side में आप देखोगे, this is like a simple server. कोई भी आप मदरबोर्ड देखोगे, आप कोई जो भी कंप्यूटर स्टूडेंट रहेगा, there is a simple मदरबोर्ड जहां पे आपके प्रोसेसर बैठेंगे। आप जब देखोगे राइट हैंड साइड में, ये सारे प्रोसेसर अभी रैक्स में जा रहे हैं, क्लस्टर्स बन रहा है, और वहीं से बहुत सारा अभी एआई का कैपेसिटी बिल्ड हो रहा है। I'll not get into this again in terms of, so this is again a layer of data center जो बता रहा था मैं। So you have hardware at the bottom, उसके बाद OS, विंडोज सब सारे जानते होंगे, विंडोज या लाइनक्स ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम रहता है। उसके बाद आपके लाइब्रेरीज रहते हैं। उसके बाद इफ यू वांट टू मैनेज हाउ द डेटा सेंटर इज वर्किंग, यू रिक्वायर सम सॉफ्टवेयर ऑन टॉप ऑफ इट। उसके बाद एआई के मॉडल्स होते हैं। सो दिस एंटायर लेयर्स ऑफ सॉफ्टवेयर व्हाट यू सी हियर is there in a data center. कोई भी आप डेटा सेंटर देखोगे, और डेटा सेंटर इंडिया में बहुत सारे अभी बहुत सारे बिल्ड हो रहे हैं, which is very good. So this is an example of how data center looks like. Okay, and you should, all students should visit actually just to get a view of how this happens. So maybe I'll just switch on. मैं Intel India क्या कर रही है, इस Intel मतलब इंडिया इकोसिस्टम या इंडिया कंपनीज के लिए क्या कर रही है, उसके बारे में थोड़ी देर जस्ट फ्यू मिनट्स स्पेंड करूंगा। Intel India actually started in 1998. अभी 27 years हो गए इंडिया में एस्टेब्लिश हुए, एंड वी स्टार्टेड विद अ डिजाइन सेंटर। हम डिजाइन चिप्स करते थे बाकी देशों के लिए, लेकिन उसके बाद इंडिया कंपनीज के लिए, इंडिया इकोसिस्टम के लिए वी स्टार्टेड पार्टनरिंग। एंड 2015, which is like 10 years back, इंटेल इंडिया मेकर लैब करके है। अभी भी मतलब बैंगलोर में भी मेकर लैब्स हैं, जहां पे इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर्स या कंप्यूटर मतलब बाकी स्टार्टअप्स के लिए देयर इज एन अपॉर्चुनिटी की टू कम इन द कैंपस एंड डू देयर एक्सपेरिमेंट्स देयर। Then in 2000, one of the key movements was 2019. Intel, and with partnership with a private player, we launched India's first Make in India laptops. Laptops आप देखोगे बहुत सारे laptops आजकल बाहर देश से आती है. So we wanted to have an India based. So there is a private, again, it is Intel supplies the chip, it supplies all the knowledge how to do it. But Intel in partnership with a private player made made in India laptop along with a partnership. That was in 2019. And then 2022, 23, again a key moment for server. Intel India or CDAC, बहुत सारे लोग CDAC को जानते होंगे. CDAC is one of the key government R&D organizations. Along with Intel India and CDAC, we developed a Rudra set of servers. Rudra, आप उसके बारे में गूगल भी कर सकते हो या इनफैक्ट बता सकते हो, चैट जीपीटी कर सकते हो, जहां पे Rudra set of high computing servers was developed again by CDAC but in partnership with Intel. और अगर आप इंडिया की अभी ऐसे देखोगे ट्रेजेक्ट्री, इनफैक्ट आई एम वेरी प्राउड टू से दैट एज इन द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड्स यू विल सी there are more than 10 to 12 data center designs happening in India right now, where जैसे सर जी बता रहे थे, we should do chips, we should do boards in India. आजकल हम बहुत सारे बोर्ड्स या चिप्स बाहर से मंगवाते हैं. प्लीज द रिक्वेस्ट फॉर ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स हियर इज, आप सोचो कि कैसे आप यहाँ पे डेवलप करके आप यहाँ पे अपना योगदान दे सकते हो. सो आई कैन प्राउडली से लास्ट 1.5 2 years वी हैव बीन वर्किंग विद अ लॉट ऑफ इंडियन डिजाइन टीम्स जो मेड इन इंडिया बना रहे हैं. मतलब चिप्स तो आजकल फिर भी बाहर से आते हैं, फिर भी आप थोड़े लोगों ने सुना होगा विक्रम करके एक 32-bit माइक्रो कंट्रोलर इंडिया में ही पहले अभी 2-3 महीने पहले अनाउंसमेंट हुआ. वैसे चिप्स हो रहे हैं, फैब्स बन रहे हैं, लेकिन चिप्स वी गेट इट फ्रॉम आउटसाइड. बट बोर्ड्स, आजकल बोर्ड्स असेंबलिंग यहीं पे हो रहा है, बोर्ड डिजाइन यहीं पे हो रहा है, lot of the entire server development. So right now, in fact, I am handling like 10 to 12 designs for made in India, which is a proud moment. ऐसे इंडिया बढ़ता रहे और हम बाकी की बाहर के देशों के लिए भी एक्सपोर्ट कर पाए. So this is in fact the same thing which I am saying कि next 4-5 साल में we should export to the world. हम सिर्फ यहाँ इंडिया के लिए नहीं, बाहर देशों के लिए भी कर सकते हैं. So maybe I just want to summarize last couple of slides. बहुत एक्साइटिंग टाइम है. सब लोग आप AI जनरेशन में हो, डेटा सेंटर का आपने देखा क्या चल रहा है, and we want to say that Intel wants to be partnering with all of you as young students who will get into graduation and get into technology, that we want to partner with all of it. And the last one, in fact, I want to leave all of you children with a quote. अगेन मैं राजीव जी ने भी बताया था अब्दुल कलाम जी के बारे में. हमारे सारे प्यारे भूतपूर्व राष्ट्रपति एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम को सब लोग जानते होंगे. उन्होंने एक कोट, बहुत सुंदर कोट बताया था, विच ही इनफैक्ट वाज टेलिंग, क्यूरियोसिटी इज द इग्निशन विच इज गेटिंग इनटू इनोवेशन. जो भी इनोवेशन होते हैं आपकी उत्सुकता से होते हैं. क्यूरियोसिटी इंपॉर्टेंट इज मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट. सर जी बता रहे थे, कीप आस्किंग क्वेश्चंस. आपको कोई क्वेश्चन पता नहीं है तो कीप आस्किंग क्वेश्चंस, डोंट स्टॉप अंटिल यू ग्रो. सो दिस इज द की थिंग आई वुड लाइक टू लीव विथ ऑल यू गाइज. क्योंकि एआई आता रहता है, आता जाएगा, मॉडल्स आते जाएंगे. द ओनली थिंग विच विल कीप इट गोइंग इज क्वेश्चंस. सो कीप आस्किंग क्वेश्चंस, कीप ग्रोइंग. थैंक यू.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bhatt, for that, and a great quote to leave us with. Curiosity, of course, is key, and that really is what will differentiate between the human and AI and AGI. And of course, empathy is also the underlying aspect that we need to keep in mind. Thank you for also highlighting the data centers and back-end, the processing models that go into really being the backbone infrastructure for AI. I now call upon stage Mr. Vivek Kumar Rai, Head Strategic Business, HPC and AI at NVIDIA. At NVIDIA, he drives enterprise-scale GPU, AI/ML, and high-performance computing deployments. He plays a key role in accelerating AI adoption and next-gen infrastructure across industry, cloud, and academic sectors. So we're really grateful to have you here at IISF this year, sir. And as we all know, NVIDIA is now one of the world's top tech firms at the forefront of supporting AI. So Mr. Vivek Kumar, look forward to hearing from you.
Am I audible? Okay. Good morning, all the kids, all the dignitaries here. Thank you, to the organizers for having me here. I think we were planning, going pretty deep, but based on the young scientists or, the upcoming young scientists we have here, the majority of the presence is from students. So we will try and fine tune this so that, we can connect with you guys and motivate you to, do some of the works that India really needs, right, going forward. So my name is Vivek. I take care of NVIDIA, some of the strategic business engaging with, some of the national missions of India, like National Supercomputing Mission. We work very closely with Ministry of Earth Sciences. Now, if you look at, how many of you have used already, Instagram, TikTok, or, Myntra for shopping? I think all of the kids must be using that, right? Now, if you see, when you start using them, you start getting some kind of recommendations, right? When you try to search for a particular item, you start getting more, recommendations next time when you log in and you try to search about those products only. How does that happen? Have you ever thought about it? Or if you're watching a video, if you're watching sports, you get more, videos, inputs of sports. How does that happen? Does any of you know? Okay. So I'm sure some of you might be knowing, but it's pretty, that's where AI is playing a role in terms of some of these very low-hanging fruits, right? But then also when you look about and talk about where AI is heading and where it is going to help, science being this festival, right? Well, let's focus something on science. I'll try to play a video for you guys and to start with and, catch your attention. Let's see if this plays. Just trying to connect my net for you guys. Okay. Looks like we have a challenge with the net here, but let's go with the next then. If you look at this deck, right, it is all about, huge scientific instruments, right? You're talking about astronomy, you're talking about, physics, and, you're talking about light sources. These instruments today, are getting bigger and bigger, right? And as they're getting bigger and much better in terms of capabilities, they are, also now producing huge amount of data, right? And in terms of AI, if you think about AI, right, it is making use of the data to gain intelligence, right, to build intelligence. And when you have enough data, you need good, models which can learn from those data and give you some kind of insight from those data, right? If you correlate the TikTok example, whatever you are doing, it is that data it is capturing and trying to build and understand what kind of interest you have. Similarly, these scientific instruments, they have huge amount of data. You want to try, non-traditional methods. For example, instead of using physics, how can your AI help in understanding the patterns of, the data and try to do discoveries for you, right? So that's some of the, advancements which AI is bringing into AI. And there are many examples to it, right? If you look at drug discovery, you all take medicines when you get sick, right? Now, if you want to discover a new drug, generally, right, kids, if you look at, it takes huge amount of money to discover a drug, right? Drugs are very important for medicinal usage. AI in terms of, accelerating this whole drug discovery process is very, very critical, right? They can actually help automate drug discovery faster with less compute resources, with less money. Similarly, if you look at, a kind of example such as materials, right? Materials is all about chemicals, right? What kind of chemicals are there? Today, plastic that you use, right, was because of the material discovery which happened, in 1990s. So, chemical formulations and the whole probability of, getting a product out of it is very, very time taking, very time consuming, lot of compute resources. For example, you will need huge amount of data centers. Our previous colleagues said that data centers are nothing but, a lot of high performing, computers which are stacked together to do some kind of work, right? Now, those are, the kind of discoveries that you can actually build based on, AI. Let's talk about, I'll try to keep it very brief and at very abstract level to help you understand how it can help in weather or climate. We all know, right, there is a huge dependency on supercomputing powers, basically the supercomputers, right, more computing power to do any kind of weather forecasting or climate forecasting. How does it help you? If you are going out, on a summer day, or if you're going out on a rainy day, you would like to know, should I venture out or not? And you have to venture out and you have to make that decision. If somebody can come and give you, kind of forecasting that, okay, it is going to rain in next, 15 minutes or in an hour, or if, you are planning a vacation and somebody says that, okay, at that particular place, there is going to be a storm or, some kind of, weather calamity, then, you are going to make your decision of not going there, right? That's where also science comes and plays its part. It will try to, give you forecast about a place, about a location, and help you make that decision, right? Which is going to be very fruitful because, you are going to save your life, people's life, money, time. That's the kind of aid, in terms of whether it is going to give. Let me show you something in the car domain, right? How does scientists build cars? Even in building car, AI can be used. For example, if you have to put a spoiler or not, how does the spoiler will create, interactions with the wind, and how it will, change the aerodynamics of the car, right? So you all are part of car. If you are going through a very wind tunnel, at a high speed, what is the, airflow going and how is it going to impact you? Even in those cases, today, you have been using more of physics, right? But physics in terms of, limitations, time, the amount of compute power it requires is very, very high. But if you can do that just using, the data which is available, right? And train it, in a way that it can deduce, these kind of inferences, then, you are able to save a lot of your computational power, making it more energy efficient, and still able to reach to those kind of outputs which traditionally, a physics would have taken long time to do, right? So in case of car also, the AI is being used. So I'll talk to you a little bit about NVIDIA, right? So all this AI, if you look at, right, in your laptop, you have CPUs, which is your processing power. And then you also have, the graphical processing units, which helps you, provide all the visualizations. But now GPU is also doing a lot of work. How is CPU and GPU different, right? CPU is more about doing, serial kind of work. It's more like, one by one, they'll keep doing work. But in today's, world where you want to do a lot of things at the same time, GPUs are going to, accelerate those kind of works, right? So the GPU becomes, a little more advanced paradigm of computing, and it is going to do a lot of parallel processing jobs for you. And that's where NVIDIA, comes into picture, where most of the HPC and AI, advanced works are today taking place on GPUs, right? But I think if you look at the AI impact is going to be huge, right? In terms of agriculture, in education, in science, in trying to, even understand each other languages. If you are two friends from two different states, right? how do you converse with each other if you don't know each other language? Even, that's one of the key barriers, which AI is today breaking down. So if somebody is, speaking in Tamil, कोई हिंदी में बात कर रहा है, कोई पंजाबी में बात कर रहा है, right? तो आप कैसे एक दूसरे से बात करना चाहते हो या कैसे एक दूसरे को communicate कर सकते हो, right? It's a language. AI has become a language today itself, right? आप अगर एक लैंग्वेज में बात कर रहे हो, ऑटोमेटिकली वो दूसरे लैंग्वेज में दूसरा बंदा उसको सुन सकता है, जो भी दूसरा आपका फ्रेंड है. So AI is impacting even in those areas, right? So we were talking about science, now we are coming to more practical purposes. So AI has a vast, enormous opportunity for all of you. I think as you progress, you will see that you are going to bear that flag of, creating the most impactful scientific discoveries or, building AI models which can be very pervasive across, the human mankind, right? So with that, I think I will try to conclude my talk. But I hope, that you invest your time in AI. The schools, invest their time in AI. The teachers invest their time in AI because it is one of the most democratizing technology which is going to help India, move ahead of, all the other globe. And I'm sure, we all can do that. But thank you for your time and wishing you all a good day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vivek. Thank you, sir, for that. As you rightly put it, AI indeed is the most democratizing technology that we are seeing unfolding right now, and for simplifying what it takes to really build that computational power and what the language of AI really means. With that said, let me now call upon Pratyush Kumar, co-founder of Sarvam AI. Sarvam, as we know, is a Bengaluru and Chennai-based startup building multilingual generative AI and India-centric LLMs. With a PhD from ETH Zurich and a BTech from IIT Bombay, Pratyush has worked at IBM Research, Microsoft Research, as well as co-founded AI for Bharat. He aims to democratize AI for India, bringing and bridging language and digital divides. And under India's AI mission, Sarvam AI was earlier this year selected to build our first sovereign foundational LLM focusing on Indian languages for secure India-centric national use. Thank you, Pratyush, for being here, and over to you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. So I was in Delhi and our capital has this pollution problem, and that's why I have a bad throat. But I think all of you have been listening to many talks. It can get tiring. So why don't you all please stand up? Can you all please stand up? Can you all please stand up? Please stand up at the back. I mean, we are teaching in IITs, and after 60 minutes, you can't listen and understand anything, right? It's just good to stretch yourself a little bit. Yeah, please sit down. Please sit down. Okay. So, I mean, I have some slides, but I don't know at this time how much it is useful to show you slides. I will show you a couple of demos. But do all of you have these ID cards? Do you have these ID cards? Okay. So there are a few words written in these ID cards. It says, Vigyan se Samriddhi for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Vigyan se Samriddhi for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Okay. AI is all about large language models, but sometimes we miss the point that we need to understand our languages very well. What does Vigyan mean? What is Vigyan? What is Vigyan? Science, okay. Technology, okay. So, in our languages, all words like Vigyan, they are derived from specific roots, which mean something. We translate it to English with science and technology, etc. But Vigyan means something. What does Gyan mean? What is Gyan? What is Gyan? Knowledge, okay. So, Gyan is knowledge. Vigyan actually is specialized or discriminatory knowledge. Knowledge where you are focusing on something, going much deeper and finding deeper truths, typically with the use of technologies, typically with the use of specific areas of modeling, thinking, etc. Right? I think today's event is about AI as the specialization to build knowledge. AI is artificial intelligence. It is one of those very, very new topics which will affect everything we know and do. So, Gyan is knowledge, but getting to that Gyan or getting to that knowledge requires specialized technology, and AI is emerging as one of those technologies or tools that we have, which is going to dominate everything that we do, right? Why is that? Because most of scientific inquiry is about asking a question and then figuring out solutions for it, figuring out if the data that we see matches our expectation. And this process of asking question, looking at data, running experiments, being able to decide if it makes sense or not, will happen with artificial intelligence. You saw in the previous presentation, there were things about climate modeling. Whether it is understanding the climate, whether it is designing new materials, whether it is deciding what crop the farmer must sow, whether it is deciding how to build the next vaccine for the next flu, or deciding how to solve pollution problem in Delhi, all of this requires us to use new technologies like artificial intelligence, right? So I think when you think about what you are studying in school, you're trying to gain knowledge, right? And I am sure that no matter what profession you choose, you can become a pilot, you can become a doctor, you can become a lawyer, you can become a star chef. In all of these areas, you will be using AI quite a lot, right? So if you are not already using AI, you should be using AI. How many of you use ChatGPT? How many use ChatGPT? In the back? Okay. Maybe you can tell, what do you use it for? Second row. Get shout. Okay, I can't hear you. That's not a good idea, maybe. See, all of us use ChatGPT, and all of us are understanding how it is very interesting that you can ask anything and you can get an answer to it, right? Imagine being able to do that productively for whatever scientific research that we need to do in the country, okay? So, and you might have heard from previous people, whether it is analyzing huge amounts of data, whether it is being able to write code automatically that can do a variety of things, whether it is even coming up with hypotheses and proving statistical evidence, all of this can be done with AI. One example I like to give you, the budget of the country will come out in February. That budget is the result of a lot of analysis that the chief economic advisor and his team does, right? So all of you know budget is coming in February. Lot of research goes into making that budget. Today, that budget, the research for that is being done with AI, with systems that we at Sarvam are building, right? So even something like economics and research, what will happen if you do this? What will happen if I spend more energy here? What will happen if I give tax break here? You can analyze with AI, right? So the first thing I want you to take away is Vigyan will be dominated with AI. So no matter what you are learning, you will find that AI will play a major role. The second word was Samriddhi. What does Samriddhi mean? What does Samriddhi mean? Yes? Prosperity, okay. So again, Samriddhi is a Sanskrit word. We translate it to prosperity and we understand it. But actually what it means is Sama means equal. Riddhi means doing well. We want every aspect of our society, every aspect of a person to be doing well. That is Samriddhi. Samriddhi is when we have a balanced outlook, right? Whether it is across people, across sectors, across knowledge types, across states, we want to have equality and prosperity in the setting, right? And again, I would like to call out how the language already has equality in it. But when we translate it, we say prosperity, right? So in this context, technology has always been a creator of value. Why did the British rule over us for so long? Because they had the technology of the steam engine, which was more capable, and we had different technology which we did not have, right? Why was there a whole Cold War around nuclear technology? Because it was an important technology. I would say in the last 2 decades, invisibly, we have not had digital technology. Social media today, the productivity tools today, even the hardware today that you use, we are using by technologists who have created this outside India, right? So wherever there is technology and innovation, there is value creation. But the goal of Vigyan and the goal of what we are trying to do is to ensure that there is widespread prosperity with what we build. And I believe personally that AI is one such technology, unlike nuclear, unlike even social media, unlike even internet probably is a good example of a good technology. But in many technologies, there is value that is created for some people, other people don't get value. But with AI, everybody can get value. You all have ChatGPT today, and you can actually ask a question and get it answered. So in terms of leveling the playing field, who has access to what level of intelligence, AI can actually be a great equalizer, right? So whether it is a student studying in MIT or a student studying in IIT Ropar, they will have the same technology to create the next round of innovation. Whether you are in primary school here or in some British high school somewhere, it should be the same level of skills. Or whether it is somebody who is working in rural Maharashtra, talking a particular language, and somebody doing very well in, let us say, South India, they should have the same access to the technology. So I believe that AI, given how personal it is, how human-like it is, will be a level playing field, and our focus should be on how do we make it equal prosperity for everybody, right? That was the second word. The third word I wanted to look at was Atmanirbhar. What does Atmanirbhar mean? Sorry? Sorry, somehow can't hear you, but I guess you understand what Atmanirbhar is. It is being self-reliant, right? So Nirbhar is an interesting word, right? In today's time of the geopolitics that we have globally, we are vulnerable to not having strategic leverage over other countries. If you don't have strategic leverage over countries, you would have the problems that we have today, which is that we still have tariffs on us, but China does not have tariffs because China has leverage over the US, right? Atmanirbhar is being invulnerable to choices that others make about your country, right? You should be able to define your destiny independent of choices that others make. That is what Atmanirbhar means, right? And so as a country of this population, as a country that is so old in terms of civilization, as a country that has a long future, as a young country, we should be building our own technology, right? We should not be dependent on what some president in some country thinks about what we should be using and not using, right? So Vigyan, we understood, it is about applying, let us say, AI for knowledge. Samriddhi is prosperity, but Atmanirbhar means we need to do it ourselves here, end to end, right? From scratch. We cannot say that I will use some part of this technology, some other part I would build. Because for a country of our scale, or a country that has so much of future, India is one of the youngest countries because of all of you. As Sir said, 2047, all of you would be in the productive system. At that time, we should have this technology running with us. So we should not be discouraged by some random fellow saying, oh, I have built a model, you guys cannot build it. We should be all stepping up, whether AI models, whether like Sir said, semiconductors, whether space research, whether defense, all of these technologies need to be built by us for ourselves so that we are invulnerable to people outside, right? And that is Atmanirbhar. And I can't tell you how important it is that the India AI mission, which is the flagship program for AI in the country. In fact, there is a very large event happening in February where different people from around the world will come to India to talk about AI. The India AI mission has encouraged building of models in the country. Today, when you use ChatGPT, it is an open AI model, or you use Google Gemini, it is a Google model. The government has encouraged that we should build our own models in the country. And not just the base models, but models for defense, models for voice, models for science and technology, models for climate, models for agriculture. All of these models have to be built, right? So for that, right now itself, at the schools that you are studying, in whatever you are doing right now, you should be thinking about how can I use AI productively. If you want to, for example, understand double integrals, okay? And maybe the teacher did not teach you double integrals very well. You can go and practice with AI how double integrals looks like, right? And you should prepare yourself to be a user of AI, understand the deeper things, and then eventually innovate and build it, right? So I wanted to capture these three things. Why AI is so important for knowledge work going ahead, how we can create equitable prosperity, and the third thing is how we should do it ourselves. I'm going to just show you maybe one demo. I don't know what is in this slide. I'll scale through this. Okay. Video time. Maybe you can just be silent. We can play one video.
हाय रवि, हम आपको 20 लाख तक का लोन ऑफर कर सकते हैं।
इस लोन पे इंटरेस्ट रेट कितना होगा?
जी जरूर, आपका इंटरेस्ट रेट लगभग 12% रहेगा।
Yeah, I think let me go back. The laptop is not here. Okay, what you saw there was actually end-to-end voice calling that was happening between a bot and a user on telephony. And we actually, with using this system, ended up calling 4.5 crore Indians for a particular company within a period of 10 days. In 10 days, an insurance scheme was getting expired for many people across the country. And for that insurance scheme, 4.5 crore people got automated calls using AI bots to help them understand why this scheme is important for them, right? So being able to reach out to people at scale is something that is possible. I'll maybe show you one more demo. This will not be easy for you to read, so I'll skip this. I'll play this one.
പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട ദേശവാസികളെ നമസ്കാരം. മൻ കി ബാത്തിലേക്ക് നിങ്ങൾക്കേവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം, അഭിവാദ്യങ്ങൾ. നിങ്ങളെല്ലാവരും ഈ സമയം യോഗയുടെ എനർജിയിലും അന്താരാഷ്ട്ര യോഗ রয়েছেন। এবারও 21 জুন দেশ বিদেশের কোটি কোটি মানুষ আন্তর্জাতিক যোগ দিবসে অংশ নিয়েছেন। আপনাদের হয়তো মনে আছে 10 বছর আগে এর সূচনা হয়েছিল। এখন 10 বছরে এই ধারা প্রতি বছর আগের থেকে আরো বেশি ਜੰਮਦਾ। ਹੁਣ 10 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਸਿਲਸਿਲਾ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਨਾਲੋਂ ਵੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸ਼ਾਨਦਾਰ ਬਣਦਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ।
Okay, there's something wrong with this video here. I think it is not playing properly. But what you saw there was Prime Minister Modi speaking Malayalam and Bengali, right? It is actually not true. It was AI voice that is generated. And along with Doordarshan, for the last 5 months, we have been doing a live telecast of Man Ki Baat that comes every month. All of you must be following that. Man Ki Baat has been live telecast in multiple states with Prime Minister's voice dubbed in that language, right? So it is possible today to use AI to be able to generate voice with such high fidelity in somebody's category, in somebody's own voice, right? So I wanted to show that example. So I'll stop there. I mean, it's a little bit difficult with this kind of a hall. I'm sure you all were waiting for lunch, but please be focused on using AI intensively in daily lives. That is very, very important. Please think about how AI will be a game-changing technology for India's prosperity, and please think about building in India for India. There will be many people who will say we can't do it, or it is too late, or it is too slow. All of those are wrong arguments. We should build these things from scratch in the country. Thank you. Thanks for the organizers for the invitation.
Thank you so much, Pratish, for that. A very engaging talk and so beautifully explaining some of the best use cases that have already been actioned. Of course, the students here will have many questions. In the interest of time, we will move on to the panel discussion, but do stay on if you can for a few moments to take some of those questions once the panel discussion is done. And let me also call upon Dipesh Kumar Jain of IITM Pune to hand over the mementos to our esteemed speakers. Thank you to each one of you for being here this morning. Thank you, gentlemen. Time now for our panel discussion, and the topic that we are going to delve into is the era of intelligent systems and the future of human-machine collaboration. This promises to be a very engaging conversation, so do hold your attention. And let me quickly introduce what we are going to talk about. We are, of course, living through a moment where AI is moving from pattern recognition to reasoning and autonomy. As some of our industry leaders here spoke about, machines are going to make decisions, take actions, and of course, learn on the go. And businesses, of course, are asking, what value can AI unlock today? How can we scale responsibly? And inevitably, what happens when AI becomes smarter than us humans? So to decode this complex, exciting, and sometimes terrifying future, we have three phenomenal leaders with us today. I call upon Mr. Xavier Kurian, Chief Revenue Officer at NIISA. Mr. Kurian brings over 2 decades of experience in driving growth and building strategic technology partnerships. He previously held senior roles at Dell Technologies, Trend Micro, and Sun Microsystems, and now leads revenue, market expansion, and customer success for NIISA's AI cloud solutions. We have with us Ganesh Gopalan, who is the co-founder and CEO of Gyani AI. He brings over 25 years of experience in technology and leadership across companies such as IBM and Texas Instruments. His expertise spans omnichannel authentication, automation, agent assist, and analytics. Under his leadership, Gyani has built proprietary conversational AI products that have positioned the company as a category leader and innovation powerhouse. And the company, of course, is also now under the India AI mission. We also have with us Dr. Manish Modani, who is a principal solution architect at NVIDIA. He's a leading national scale HPC and AI initiatives leader for missions of strategic importance. With 2 decades across NVIDIA, IBM, and STFC UK, he has advanced supercomputing, climate modeling, and AI acceleration at scale. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us this morning. Thank you again for joining us, and of course, waiting for the session to kick off. We've got a very, interested audience in terms of the future of technology here with us. To put it simply, a room full of students. So let's really break it down for them how India is building and deploying AI. And Ganesh, maybe I could start off with you because you are building in the voice and automation agent assist space that's exploded with Gen AI now. So simplify for us what this really means and the problems that you're actually solving with this.
So let me start with trying to explain this in a simple manner, right? A lot of students out here, and let's suppose you wanted to know what your exam date is. Let's suppose you are studying for an exam, and sometimes in the middle of studying, you are always wondering, hey, is this in the portion? ये पोर्शन में है या ये पोर्शन में नहीं है. दूसरा, we keep thinking, what do we do if whatever we are studying, how much is it relevant to the exam? Exam में कितने marks का आता है, right? So all these questions that we keep asking, let's suppose that we can call a phone, right? Using our normal mobile phone, we call. We talk in Punjabi, we talk in Hindi, we talk in English, and we talk in any accent. And let's suppose we can get the answers to our questions. That is what a lot of the work that we are doing. It is in what's called as automation. Whenever we talk to each other, whenever we communicate with each other, we communicate using voice, right? So similarly, when we talk to machines, it is best that we communicate in voice, and what better than communicating in our own languages, right? So whether we are speaking in Punjabi, a mix of Punjabi and English here, or sometimes a mix of Punjabi, English and Hindi, machine को समझना चाहिए कि हम क्या बात कर रहे हैं और वो reply करना चाहिए. And that is one of the key components that we do on the voice automation side.
So Ganesh, जैसे आपने बोला, voice is a very natural thing. It's like, a human first technology, so to speak. हमें also, if you can break down for us, ये LLM क्या होता है, multimodal क्या होता है, और जब हम बोलते हैं कि Indic language models, if you can explain that for us.
हाँ, so हम अभी ये simple language में बात करेंगे. What is LLM? LLM जो है वो बोलता है कि ये large language model. Just take it as we are using all these terms. Let's start with the basics, right? Let's start with what is AI. AI is artificial intelligence. By artificial intelligence, what we mean is that all of us humans are very intelligent. We are typically the most intelligent species on this planet. Can we use machines to do work for us and be also intelligent in doing that work? Right? That's what we call as artificial intelligence. I'll also touch upon a couple of other terms here. Today there is this theme today that I saw that says AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. So ये Artificial General Intelligence क्या है? So what we are trying to say is, can machines be as intelligent or more intelligent than human beings? Right? Because we human beings are very smart. We can do a lot of things on reasoning. We can do a lot of things on understanding. Let me give you one example. Let's suppose, a lot of students here will love to be interested in sports. आपको खेल में interest होगा. लेकिन at the same time, you might be interested in science, विज्ञान. तो हम फ्यूचर में क्या करना चाहिए? ऐसा कोई प्रोफेशन है, if we can ask a machine that will combine both my love for sports and my love for science. Let's suppose we could ask a machine and it can give some answer, right? It might ask you some more questions. Are you also interested in medicine? And it might suggest something like a sports medicine or a sports scientist profession for you. Now, this is the reasoning aspect of machines that soon we are hoping that will be as equivalent to a human being. Is it already there, but not yet? But we are hoping that as artificial general intelligence improves, it will, machines will be able to be almost as intelligent as human beings. There is another term that today we have not covered, which we'll talk about. There is a lot of people are talking about ASI, artificial super intelligence. आपने ये साइंस फिक्शन मूवी देखा होगा, आपने रोबोट मूवी पता नहीं कितने लोग ने देखा हुआ, where the machine is far more intelligent than human beings. And that is the next world that we'll be in, what's called as artificial super intelligence. Say maybe 1,000 times, 10,000 times more intelligent than human beings, right? And that is a world that also is going to be in front of us. So what I'm trying to say here is that today machines or AI is intelligent, but maybe not as intelligent. Soon you'll have AGI, where it's almost as intelligent. Soon we'll get to ASI, where it will be much more intelligent than human beings, maybe 1,000 times more. And that is going to be a much different world that we know than the world that we see today.
Truly, Ganesh, thank you so much for setting that context. And in a sense, Bacho, we will probably be living in a science fiction world soon enough. So watch out for that. And now, Xavier, coming to the reality of the adoption and deployment at the ground level, when we talk about businesses as well today, आप अगर बता सकते हैं कि how much adoption has happened today, what's really making it move at such a pace, and what is the real business urgency right now that you're witnessing in terms of AI deployment?
So if you look at it from a adoption perspective, we've already been seeing it in the market. A lot of it you're not really noticing is AI. For example, and someone was speaking about it earlier, when you go to a Meesho or a Myntra and you go and look at a green color jacket and it shows you a bunch of other green color jackets, looks at everything that you've looked at previously and makes a recommendation that it knows that you are likely to like. That's a recommendation engine. That an extension of that is what enterprises are starting to use. So for example, today when you walk into a bank or you call a call center of a payment of a UPI payment platform, very often the person that you're talking to is looking at information about you through an agent, through an AI. So a bank teller is able, or a bank representative is able to look up what is it that you've done, what are the transactions how is it that you've used your money, what are the things that you might be interested in. Now that interface into the world, into having it into your UPI aggregator app is coming, right? So BFSI is probably one of the big adopters. The other big adopter is the ITES and the startup ecosystem. And this is young innovators and creators that are thinking through problems that no one really thought of before, right? It could be a startup in the middle of nowhere that is doing a system by which a lawyer can look up exactly what he needs, or a user can go in and say that, hey, I've had an accident. What are the things that I should do? Those are the things that, that's the startup ecosystem that is booming. The third piece, I think, is going to be manufacturing. And the manufacturing world consumption is undefined, right? Almost anything that a human can do can be done by an AI. And the human only needs to control and fine tune it. So that system is coming. It's still early stages of development today, but we're going to get there.
True, and also because we have a room full of students here. दूसरा क्वेश्चन जो मैं पूछना चाहती हूँ is about jobs and जो AI अभी आ रहा है मतलब we're going to be living through the reality of it. तो Mr. Modani बोलते हैं लोग कि AI is nothing new in a sense. If you look at the historic evolution of technology from an infrastructure and research perspective, what breakthroughs do you think happened that made AI suddenly work? Is it compute, architecture, models, or something else? That is one piece of the question. And also to keep up with the times, what kind of skill sets, what kind of engineering and DevOps skill sets do children need to adopt to keep up with this AI?
First of all, thanks for having me here, in particularly IITM to give me a chance to be here. It's a great question to know that how AI evolved in last 10 years or a decade. What is the reason? Though one kind of AI we were using like 1960s, 70s, where our email start going into the trash box and all. But in 2012, there was an innovation where they could process images and the errors become down, the losses came down significantly. And from there, the era start of AI. The one key reason that time was the processing was in time, and that happened due to the GPU's availability. So one is infra was available there. The second is the software framework that was available there. However, saying that only infra and data two are key component, but third key component was the evolution of softwares, or like how the data should process, how the model should train. Earlier it was labeled data, then unlabeled data, their transformer came, then the Gen AI came to generate the data to train the model, and now we have based on that LLM came, now mixture of LLMs, and now we are in the era of agentic AI, which makes it useful for us to use in every domain rather than in a particular domain in day-to-day language, right? So that's where the journey came. So it is one thing is infra, second is the software stack, and third is the data availability. That plays the key role where we are seeing now the AI is here. Your second part of the question, what skill someone should have? So first thing I urge everyone to start using AI seriously. What I mean is everyone is using AI. Even if we go Google, we search something, we are using AI. But try to use AI in serious manner that what they are using for and what deeper they can go. Once they start going little deeper into that, automatically they will get more interest, and there is ample jobs in the market for these kind of stuff. So one should just take seriously AI and automatically a story will build up. That's the answer.
Got it. We'll talk more about this. I'm sure the children also have lots of questions on that front. Ganesh, coming back to you in the India context, right? The country is extremely diverse linguistically, digitally as well. So how does that really shape product innovation?
So if we look at, say, so what we do is develop a lot of voice models, right? And अगर आप देखोगे तो अभी Punjabi ले लो, we'll have lot of accents in Punjabi. You will have Pahadi here, you will have Maji here, Doabi here. So you need to have an AI system that understands each and every dialect. दूसरी बात यह है कि let's suppose I combine Punjabi with a lot of English. There are a lot of people from Haryana also now, for example, coming into parts of Punjab and others. There'll be Haryanvi mixed with that. There'll be Bhojpuri mixed with that. So the AI systems in a very Indian context should be what's called as multilingual. Multilingual इसका ये meaning है कि आप इधर एक भाषा बोलो या combination of भाषा बोलो, the system has to understand what you say, right? And we in Gyani are building such systems that are multilingual. Other aspect that we heard in when you go all across India, they say every 1 or 2 kilometers the accent will change, right? And your systems need to be able to understand that. And in order to do that, AI में कैसे बनता है कि हम बहुत सारा data लेते हैं, right? We take data from every corner of the country, put it into these models, which train this data so that now it can understand and answer. For example, अगर चंडीगढ़ में पहाड़ी बोल रहे हो तो it will answer. Suppose you are using a combination of Pahadi and Haryanvi, it might still answer what you're saying. And even if you're talking in purely in English, it will answer. So that is what we do, in AI, in Gyani.ai, what we do is have the ability to answer your questions and let machines be powerful enough that irrespective of the language, the accent, the dialect with which you speak, it will answer the question that you put.
Fascinating to see, how this technology will make everything so inclusive and really catapult economic growth as well. And in that light, Xavier, now we were talking about, AI and how AGI systems will help in autonomously operating a lot of workflows. So when it comes to, cloud economics, SaaS models and enterprise budgets as well, what does this ultimately mean? Would it mean that, we can sort of do a lot of work without relying on human workforce, but what does it mean for the technology budgets as well?
I want to be clear about something, and I think someone spoke about this earlier. The future is about people that use AI, not just about AI. It's every user is going to it's not like AI is going to take away everybody's job. The people that use AI most effectively are going to take the jobs of the people that don't use AI, right? Now, in that light, the enterprises have started seeing it. So every company that is working towards optimization, and I'll put that in a very blunt context, right? So I have a 16-year-old daughter who uses AI to study, right? If she has an equation that she doesn't understand, she takes a photograph of it, uploads it into one of the AI chatbots, and it teaches her how to solve. Now, that is one piece, right? Every function in an enterprise that can happen to. For example, if I wanted to do a marketing presentation for the board, it's really easy for an AI to come up with the bullet points, to come up with the construct. Yes, you will have to flesh it out today. But every task that needs to be done today, there is an AI that can help, right? And that's what companies are starting to realize. And that's where the investments are starting to go. So short answer, organizations are starting to use AI, are starting to be able to not just use it in pilots and early stages and internal, but we're starting to see some of those hit mainstream and in main market.
Scale AI adoption right now from talent to infrastructure?
Absolutely. So if you'd asked me this question about 6 to 8 months ago, I would have said yes, a lot of POCs in progress. We're starting to see those transition into enterprise grade deployments. Absolutely.
Okay. Let me also bring in, the government here and how India is really positioned. Dr. Madani, where does India stand in AI compute capacity, right? In terms of open research and national missions as well. Do you think we are catching up, or like every other technology, we will, suddenly leapfrog like how we did from 2G to 4G and 5G?
It's a great question again. So Indian government started India mission in 2024 that has 7 pillars: infrastructure, application, innovation, startups, skills, and 2 more. Now, in that, they are enabling with public-private partnership, they already enable 34,000 GPUs. And that's where my previous speaker and my fellow speaker, they got awarded their project under India AI to develop their project. Having said that, the ANRF is another mission that is also started to develop the science in India with using Gen AI technology and so on. So India is making creditable step. It's commendable. And the way we are seeing few models, they are going to come out from India will be unique. Still, we are little behind than global scale. As director sir from IIT Ropar, they said that everything comes from US. So we are there. I think soon we will lead the world in that space. So we are there with in terms of infra research, both things we are leading in that, and there are several government missions. They are coming up and they are supporting this research. So,
Right,
yeah.
Ganesh, to you as well. You are front and center working with the government with their India AI initiative. A lot of work in the deep tech space. So, in the past, say 10 to 11 years as well, what kind of support are you seeing in the science and tech space in terms of the intersection of science, signal processing, and the evolution of modern AI? What really excites you at this point in time, and how is the government policy? Either in terms of the initiatives or what you would like coming from them going forward?
So, Government of India is now very clear that AI is a key differentiator to making us a Viksit Bharat by the next 20 years. And this is extraordinarily important step by the government. One of the aspects that we all know is the India AI mission, right? Where we as Gyani.ai are developing something rather unique, where very few companies in the world have built such models. And we are here to build for Bharat and also for the world from Bharat, right? So it's a combination of the two. And the government, we all have heard on the India AI mission, but also from the adoption standpoint, apart from making compute readily available, for startups like ours to build. Apart from that, the government is also encouraging ministries and, various people within government to start adopting and seeing the benefits of AI. And we are starting to see really, really good, effects of this. For example, we've seen some amazing outcomes from the kind of work that we are doing. On an average day for our voice automation systems, we do more than a few, I would say, automated voice automation calls on a daily basis. So this is like, I think we all tend to underestimate India as a country. I think the volume at which AI is adopted both from corporate and government is way beyond many other developed countries also, right? There's an eagerness in government, there's an eagerness in private enterprise to take AI and use it for public good. And I think we are definitely in the right direction.
Xavier, you have also seen about 2 decades of tech cycles at the enterprise level, right? So are you seeing India as a nation, the science mindset that we all sort of grew up with, engineer bano, doctor bano, is sort of imbibed in us? Are you actually seeing that now with technology, experimentation, iteration, hypothesis at the enterprise level?
I've spoken about this earlier as well, and this doctor and engineer system in India has been very beneficial for us, right? It has given us the manpower and the skill that is required, and it's not just about teaching the subjects. It is about teaching the method of thinking, right? And that method of thinking is very important for innovation. The government in India is super supportive about on some of these initiatives. So if you look at the AI mission, they've got a charter to go and drive adoption. If you look at each of the IITs and the large research institutes, they've started going and taking a lot of the the compute capacity that's available in the market and consuming that towards creating creating products and expertise in that specific area. Director from IIT Roper was talking about agriculture. The IISc in Bangalore is doing healthcare, right? IIT Kanpur is doing smart cities, and some of these things are absolutely cutting edge as far as at any scale, right? If you pick the traffic in a city in India is more than some countries in Europe, right? If some of these things can be solved for India scale, they will work anywhere, and UPI is a classic example of that. So we've seen technology revolutions in India. We've seen the advent of the internet. We've seen the advent of the programming skill. We've seen the advent of the GCCs that came into India, and I'm fairly certain that we are this far from seeing the hockey stick on AI.
Of course, as you said, India benefits from the population scale also in a sense, and of course the science mindset. So, closing comments from you, Dr. Modani. जैसे अगर हम scientific discovery के बारे में सोचते हैं, we are at a science summit, तो most of this is going to be co-created now with AI. What are some of the checks and balances that we need to keep in mind?
It's a good question. Science is based on the governing laws, right? So far, AI is more predictive for the, I would say, the next word prediction, and that's how we get full sentence or full para and so on. With science, innovation comes into picture. We need to have the governing laws in place. What we say, the governing law of energy and mass and continuity equation and so on. That is being taken care, but one need to just check what answer they are getting for scientific. The metrics to evaluate those answers also is in place and they are evolving, but we need to be careful while taking those scientific answers and adopting it, whether they are correct or not. Their checks and balances, benchmarks are available. One should look into that.
Okay, and let me also try to do a fun rapid fire with the speakers here. Before that, any specific skill set you all would like to call out in terms of data, infra, prompt engineering? What is something that is highly required right now?
I was talking to Ganesh about this sitting downstairs. If today that there is a dearth of skill, there is an absolute dearth of great skill around AI. I go to some of the colleges, and I was at IIT Chennai some time ago. I've been to Kanpur a couple of times. I was at IISc a couple of weeks ago, and there's a lot of skill that's coming. The two things that I think that are critically important in the skill that we build. One, I think we need to build the foundational skill, because the rate at which it is changing, it is not enough to just understand the surface. It is important to understand the foundation of how AI is being built, so that when you understand the foundation, at a later point in time when changes happen, you'll understand that as well. The second piece that I think that we absolutely need to build a skill around is managing data. I think there's so much data in this country today. It's sometimes surprising that the number of tokens that OpenAI is used to train Hindi is more than some of the tokens that some of our domestic models have, right? So managing that, the skill of managing that data and the skill of being able to exploit the data that really already exists in this country is another skill that we absolutely have to build.
Got it. Would the students have any questions? If we can organize a mic here and, people can line up. If you all have any questions on AI, that would be a good 5-10 minutes to do now post this session. In the meanwhile, quick questions to you, Ganesh. AGI, in your opinion, do you think it will, hit us in 5 years, 15 years, or longer?
So, ये जो
one-word answers.
5 years.
5 years. All right. If AI could solve one scientific problem today, what should it be? Anyone?
I think since there are students here, no exams, I hope.
Good one.
So there is already, I had already Triple IT Delhi. There they said, like open book, the exams are with chat, prompt and all. Now, while submitting your answer, you have to submit your prompt also. So they are evaluating their prompt engineering also. So that's all.
Wow, what a time to be a student.
I think the one thing that's really needed is human life longevity, health. Health tech is a massive space by itself. To be able to go and diagnose and develop the drugs that are required, that are specific to diseases, specific to ailments of the body, that can extend life. I think that's the one space that's going to see radical changes in the coming future.
Great. And Ganesh, maybe one overhyped AI use case and one underrated AI capability that you think the overhype that should disappear and the underrated AI capability that will change the world.
I think start with the underhyped. I think people say India doesn't do AI. I think we ourselves do about 20 billion tokens daily on AI. So I think let's not be underhyped on India. I think the volumes that we are seeing and we'll see in the future will be far, far more. I think there is nothing really underhyped about AI technology. I think personally think you are going to see AGI within 10 or 15 years, if not 5 years, like I said.
Okay. Mr. Modani, if you could, trust an AI agent with something first, would it be your money, health, or your inbox?
It will be health. First thing, it will be health. It is coming. The drug discovery during COVID time, we have seen the drug discovery period from 10 years, it reduced to a year. That was that time AI, and now with more agentic AI and all, it is becoming personalized drug discovery, and you will see that reality soon, in couple of years. Yeah.
Xavier, last question to you. If you could give AI a personality trait, what would you choose? Curiosity, empathy, or humility?
Curiosity. Curiosity is the most important trait that exists. And I'll give you an example. We're an AI cloud, right? We've built the platform for AI, and every day I see startups come put applications on there and build out functions. Each one of those happened because of curiosity, because somebody wanted it, because somebody said, hey, I can, right? It's very easy to go sit down and say, somebody else is building it, I'll use it. To be able to say, this is a problem in the world and I will go solve for it is a trait that is absolutely phenomenal. So if AI can have curiosity, which I think is a very human trait, it'd be awesome.
Great. A great note to wrap it up. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your thoughts. And thank you so much for being an amazing audience. That was, of course, how AI is positioned to redefine everything across life and work. Have a great day. And we will take some questions on the side if you have something. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for the wonderful talk. And of course, due to the shortage of time, we cannot able to take the questions right now. But the speakers are available. आप लोग सब हमारा जो speakers है, आप लोग question पूछ सकता है lunch timing में. तो मैं I will request Dr. Dipesh to kindly present the memento to our esteemed panel members who have came here to join this panel discussions. Dr. Dipesh. Thank you so much, sir. With this, we are ending this session. One question. Okay, sir, just a minute. One question from the school students. One question. Yeah. Madam, one only. Jaldi. Ek questions. Yeah. Ek question.
मेरा नाम आयुषी है। मैं गवर्नमेंट मॉडल हाई स्कूल सेक्टर 49D से आई हूँ। तो मेरा सवाल ये है, एआई हमारे लिए बहुत लाभदायक है, पर मैंने कुछ दिन पहले एक न्यूज सुनी थी जिसमें एआई के जरिए एक बच्चे ने आत्महत्या की थी। तो क्या एआई हमारे लिए नुकसानदायक भी हो सकता है? क्या हम इससे कैसे बच सकते हैं?
Yes, sir. Anybody of you can answer.
ये जो आपने पूछा है बहुत ही बढ़िया क्वेश्चन पूछा है। जैसे हर चीज में हर चीज जो विज्ञान ले आती है उसमें अच्छाई होता है और बुराई भी होता है। वन ऑफ द बेस्ट एग्जांपल ये जो न्यूक्लियर वेपन्स हैं, राइट? उससे हम इनफाइनाइट एनर्जी जनरेट कर सकते हैं थ्रू न्यूक्लियर फिशन, लेकिन वो वेपन्स के लिए भी यूज होता है इन टर्म्स ऑफ न्यूक्लियर वेपन्स और ये सब चीज में। सेम वे आप देखोगे तो एआई भी ऐसी चीज है। हमें देखना है कि इसका हम कैसे लाभ उठा सकते हैं और हमें बहुत सावधानी से इस विज्ञान को यूटिलाइज करना चाहिए। इसलिए एआई में ऐसे चीज होते हैं जिसको बोलते हैं गार्ड रेल्स। ये गार्ड रेल्स से हम एआई को कंट्रोल करते हैं ताकि इसका बुरा उपयोग न हो। लेकिन एक बढ़िया क्वेश्चन है, जैसे हर विज्ञान की चीज में अच्छाई भी होती है और बुराई भी होती है, एआई भी ऐसी चीज है और हमें बहुत ही केयरफुली इसको उपयोग करना है।
Thank you, sir.